the basics of turbulence, we have been talking about that. And then after this, we'll go into turbulence modeling. Turbulence modeling. And then we'll go into the other section of the discretization and mesh handling and all that. So first of all, we are dealing with turbulence. We talked about what is known as the Richardson's energy cascade, which is one of the primary topics in turbulence. Richardson's energy cascade. Richardson's energy cascade, which is one of the primary topics in turbulence. And this energy cascade tells us that if there is a mean flow, in that mean flow, which has a length scale capital L, we say that it creates smaller and smaller scales of flow, such that it's like saying that a large eddy breaks up into smaller and smaller eddies. These are eddies of turbulence, which contain turbulent kinetic energy, something which we will see. It becomes smaller and smaller. So this will give energy. This will give its energy to this. This will give energy to this. And it will give it to the smallest size eddy, which we mentioned as the Kolmogorov scale eddy. Kolmogorov eddies. These are the smallest scale eddies. These are the smallest eddies possible in turbulence, beyond which the turbulent kinetic energy dissipates as heat. So from here it goes as heat. So this process is known as the Richardson's energy cascade. Energy cascades from the larger scales further down into smaller and smaller scales until it finally reaches the Kolmogorov size eddies, and then it dissipates as heat. Now this process we discussed last time. Then we also figured out a way to calculate the Kolmogorov scales. Kolmogorov scales of length, velocity, and time. So we discussed about the Kolmogorov scales of length, velocity, and time. The Kolmogorov length scale was given by eta, which was given by nu cube by epsilon raised to 1 by 4. Nu cube by epsilon raised to 1 by 4. Nu cube by epsilon raised to 1 by 4. This is the length scale, the Kolmogorov length scale, usually always designated as eta. The Kolmogorov length scale is nu cube, where nu is a kinematic viscosity, cubed divided by epsilon. Epsilon is something known as the dissipation rate of turbulence. Dissipation rate of turbulence, which is also, this I told you, please by heart this, it is u cube by L, where u is again the velocity scale of the largest eddy, and L is the length scale of the largest eddy. Length scale of the largest eddy. So based on the length scale of the largest eddy and the velocity scale of the largest eddy, u cube by L, we can get the dissipation rate. This dissipation rate is fed into this equation, so that you can get the Kolmogorov length scale, and there is a corresponding equation for the velocity scale and the time scale, which I leave to you. You do that. Okay, you will get that. Now I am going to go into turbulence now, hardcore turbulence. Or what we usually call the mathematical description of turbulence. So the mathematical description of turbulence says that, okay, before we go into that, there is something known as, these are some equations which are been there for such a long time in fluid mechanics. As you know, fluid mechanics is as old as probably like 1600 or something. Around 1600 to 1700, you started getting the first equations of fluid mechanics. Now, from there on, something like 1800s, we 18, probably not 1800s, 1850, 1870, that kind of time, they came up with something known as a Reynolds equation. The Reynolds equation. It is also known as Reynolds momentum equation. Reynolds momentum equation. Okay, this Reynolds momentum equation is the basis from which all other equations in fluid mechanics, turbulent fluid mechanics, that is high Reynolds number fluid mechanics, came up. From this only came what we wrote last time, known as the Navier-Stokes equations. So from the Reynolds momentum equation, the basic equation came the Navier-Stokes equations, which came slightly later. It's almost at the same time. It's not very far away. So the Navier-Stokes equation is one can be derived from the Reynolds momentum equation. So let's go back to the basic equation and let's start with this Reynolds momentum equation. The equation states that this is how the equation started. Now, this term, this is basically the Reynolds momentum equation. It states that this, as we said, is a time derivative term, which is basically the unsteady term of the Reynolds momentum equation, the unsteady term of the Reynolds momentum equation. This is known as the nonlinear term of the Reynolds momentum equation, the nonlinear, or it is also known as the inertial, or the inertial term, of the Reynolds momentum equation. And this, the right hand side, this is actually known as a stress component. So it says that the derivative of the stress is equal to this component on the left hand side. Now what is this tilde mean? Tilde means what we call it as an instantaneous value. So like if I say anything that is a tilde, it means an instantaneous value of a. This is how they saw at that time. That is instantaneous value of the quantity A. Let us say if it is A can be U is the velocity, or it can be V, the V velocity component, anything. So the tilde represents the instantaneous value, which means that when you measure at any instant, what value do you get for that for that value of A. So that is known as the instantaneous value, and how to calculate the instantaneous value comes next. Before that, let's do this Reynolds momentum equation. So this is where it started from. This is actually an equation which is true in structures also. You know, in the structures that you study, this an equation similar to this comes up in structures as well. For those who are following that, we'll see that. So for our fluids, this is basically the basic equation from which we started. That is the Reynolds momentum equation. So let's see what this is. This is defined in this manner actually. These things I am not going to this. If we want to derive this, we'll have to go into basic fluid mechanics. Then we won't complete the course anyway. So let's talk about the latest developments in the topic. So right now I'll just go through this very fast. So this sigma ij is basically the stress is usually defined as minus P delta ij plus 2 mu Sij. What this means is that it is basically the stress is the sum total of normal stress and tangential stress. This is normal stress. Pressure is a normal stress. This is a shear stress. Shear stress is a tangential stress. Tangential means it acts along the it's tangential to the surface. So if you take a fluid element, that is all basic derivations are there. You take a small cube of and you find out the stresses on it. So there can be tau xx, tau yy, tau zz, and then there will be a minus p delta ij. Now you need to know what is this. This is I am not sure how many of you might have heard of it, is something known as a Kronecker delta. Kronecker delta is this fellow, okay, this one. It is delta ij, it is Kronecker delta, and it is usually written as, it is basically equal to, it is a value, actually, it is a value of 1 if I equal to j, and it has a value of 0 if I not equal to j, which means that delta 1 is 1, delta 2 is 1, delta 3 is 1, delta 1 is 0, delta 1 is 0, delta 3 is 0. And usually, so this is the definition for Kronecker delta. What this is showing is that if I equal to j, which means that it is a tangent, it is a normal component. When it is a normal component, this has a value 1, which means that the p comes up. Okay, if it is a tangential component, we are talking about like tau 1, 2, tau 2, 3, etc. When you're talking about 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, etc., this pressure term becomes 0. This whole term becomes 0. So only when it is normal, you tend to have this, whereas when it is tangential, you do not have this. Okay, so once you are familiar, once you're okay with that, then we have the second term, 2 mu Sij. Now, what is Sij? Sij is the strain tensor, which is usually given by half. This is, if it is tilde, it's rho ui. I know this is a little too much, coming a lot of. What I would strongly suggest you do is, I don't know if you have the option of doing it. You can record these videos, you can, I don't know if you can do that. If you have the option, you can do that, and you can listen to this and then refer to some book, which can, which is descriptive of this. But basically, you can follow this, the videos. That would be, I think, a more efficient way of getting a better grade in this course. So Sij is equal to half dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. All these things you probably have heard. All those who have done fluid mechanics to some extreme level, maybe in a fluid mechanics 2. If you have done a fluid mechanics 2, you would have done this. In basic fluid mechanics, probably they have skipped all this. So this Sij, this instantaneous value of S, is equal to half. This is basically a basic definition. This is not something that you need to manipulate or need to think about. This is the definition of strain. This is strain. Shear stress is strain. This is shear stress. Sij is strain. So 2 mu is the kinematic viscosity, the dynamic viscosity, and therefore, in order to account for this half, there is a 2 here. So 2 mu Sij. So this is sigma ij. So once you have that,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, what is the last term of Sij?
this one,
Last term, yes.
yeah,
Del uj by.
yeah, half of dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. I'll write
Okay.
it again. Yeah. I'll write it again. Okay. So basically what they are saying is that sigma ij tilde is equal to minus p delta ij plus 2 mu Sij tilde. P tilde. Okay, tilde represents an instantaneous value. It means when it just means a value. It's an instantaneous value, means that one instant you have just taken that value, and that value is whatever you get there. So sigma ij is equal to minus p delta. So of these, this Sij is half dou ui. This is this Sij, okay? Tilde Sij, which is ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. Comes like this. Now this is the strain rate. These are all those who want to study fluid mechanics, in later, wants to follow that career. You better remember some of the things that I'm telling you. These terms will come in very handy whenever you are reading any paper or trying to even do some problems in Fluent and any other software. So this is one of those. This is known as a strain rate, and strain rate is given by, this is strain rate, and the strain rate is always given by half of this plus this. So I by j, j by I. It's not very difficult. I by j, j by I. You put it in that fashion. When you do both, you will get Sij. Okay. Then now if I take this and you put it there, means this value of sigma ij, this value, this expression, I take it and put it here, and you do some manipulations, which I am going to leave it to you. I don't know if you will do it or not, but what you will get is, if you do that manipulation, dou ui by dou t plus uj dou ui by dou xj is equal to minus 1 by rho dou p by dou xi plus dou p by dou xi plus nu dou square ui. This you will have to do and see. Now let me see how. What you will do is, you will replace this Sij with this value. Okay. Actually, that is all. You replace this Sij with this value. Just you will have to work it out and see. Does it come to that? Sij, to me Sij. Something is missing. Oh, yeah. What is missing here? Tell me. Something I told wrong. Not wrong. I missed something. The missing term is this. So this is 2 mu Sij sigma ij. So sigma ij is this. So it is dou by dou x. So what you have is, let us look at it. There's no space to write. Let's take some other color. Okay, so this is, it becomes dou by dou xj of, it becomes half dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. Now let us see, what does this become? This is equal to half, I am taking outside, half dou square ui by dou xj plus dou square dou square uj by dou xj dou xi. This is interesting, isn't it? Now I am saying, so this is, what is this term? This one. Now dou square uj by dou xj dou xi is equal to dou by dou xi of dou dou uj, this is there always, by dou xj. Now tell me something, what is this? Can anybody tell me what this is? This is xj, okay, xj. What is this term? Actually, in the beginning, not beginning, last week, in the last class, I mentioned that there is something known as a continuity equation, okay? I'll write it with a different. So we said that there was a continuity equation which states that dou u, oh, which states that dou ui by dou xi, do you remember this, is equal to 0 always. So I told you that there was something known as an Einstein summation rule. Okay. So that is known as an Einstein summation rule. It is a summation rule which states that if some term is repeating, if one index is repeating in a product or a quotient in a divided divisor or in a quotient or in a product, in any of these two, if a term, if an index, this is called as an index, and if an index is repeating, then it is a summation over that index. It does not anymore belong to that one index. It is a summation over the index. So this will become, so basically dou ui. So what did we have here? Here we had dou uj by dou xj. Okay, this one, this is what we had. This is equal to dou u1 tilde by dou x1. I'm just continuing from there. Okay, plus dou u2 by dou x2 plus dou u3 by dou x3. Now you have to know that all kinds of u1 plus dou by dou x1 of u1 plus dou by dou x2 of u2 plus dou by dou x3 of u3, all of them are equal to 0 always, because it is the continuity equation, because we are considering only incompressible flows. We are considering only incompressible flows, as a result of which this equation dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou. So basically here this term is 0. So this term, so the whole thing is dou by dou xi of 0, which is 0. So this term goes, it becomes 0. So this term goes. So you have only this term. So what are we saying? So this becomes, so so dou by dou xj of sigma ij becomes this one. Second term becomes this, which is half of this into 2 mu, which is basically mu. It must be a little confusing, but you read it. It takes a bit of time. The problem is you are not familiar with tensors. You know, this way of writing this ij, sometimes can get on. Um, it can get really ugly. Actually, it can get very difficult. So this one becomes half of dou square ui by dou xj into 2 mu. This one, this 2 mu Sij. So this is Sij dou by dou xj of that into 2 mu. So this 2 cancels out. That is why the 2 is there anyway. So this becomes mu into dou square ui by dou xj. I don't want to give you more mathematics than this. I think this will be enough. So this is what comes as the viscous term in the Navier-Stokes equation. So, and then so this comes as the viscous term in the Navier-Stokes equation. Okay, you know what that you have seen that term. This comes as a viscous term, and then before that you will have this term minus p delta ij, and you will have same thing dou by dou xj of, where is it? Yes, dou by dou x. I removed that equation. So you have dou by dou xj of minus p delta ij. Let's take a look at this first. This is also an interesting thing. So what do we have? Yeah, dou by dou xj of minus p delta ij. These are all actually manipulations only, but it's interesting to see how it comes about. So this is basically dou p by dou x Can anyone tell me what it should come there? It's a slight, it involves a bit of intelligence only actually. Dou p by dou x. A little trick if you use, you will get what it is. It is actually dou p by dou xi. Now, how did this, here it is j, how did it become I? You can see this. I told you this delta ij is known as Kronecker delta. Delta ij has a value of 1 when I equal to j, okay? And it has a value of 0 when I not equal to j. Now take this j. So when this j is equal to I, this has a value 1. When this j has not a value of I, this is equal to 0. So this basically means this dou by dou xj will have a value only when j equal to I. And when that happens, this term can be rewritten as dou by dou xi of minus p. So dou by dou xi of minus p. So that is minus dou p by dou xi. So delta goes. So these are, it is true that you can use this kind of things only when the this manipulation is clear, like you need to be able to see all this, what I'm saying. Slight kind of smartness is required to do that. But once you have that, you will see that this is a very big advantage. Once you know this tensor, you will feel like writing every equation in a tensorial form, because second order tensors, third level equations and all, which of course I am sure you have never used a third order matrix, but if you have something like that, it's it's all very easily amenable through a tensorial notation. So this is what it is. When I equal to j, when this j has a value of I only, will this delta ij have a value 1. If j has any value other than I, okay, this thing will become 0. So whole thing, that all those things which have j not equal to I are 0. Only those things with j equal to I remain. So that means basically this is I, j is equal to I. And when you have that, you put delta I, which is 1. Delta I is 1. And that, so minus p into 1. So dou by dou xi of minus p. So that means minus dou p by dou xi. Therefore, finally, that whole equation came down to dou ui by dou t plus uj dou ui by dou xj equals, from here, from this manipulation, we got minus dou p. Actually, there is a row term also, okay, somewhere here. I have missed a row. There is a row somewhere here. Minus dou p by dou xi. That's why this becomes xi, not j. All these new denominators are j, but this one alone is I. It is because of this translation that occurred. Minus dou p by dou xi. Actually, I'll write it there. There is a row there. Plus 2, plus nu into dou square ui by dou xj. Right now, what we did, you should be remembering now, or you should be knowing how this thing comes about. Dou square ui by dou xj. Why this two dou xj's came, you just go back and do that. I think you should be able to do it now. This nu came from this mu by rho. So mu by rho is written as nu. That is a kinematic viscosity, and this is the other thing, dynamic viscosity and density. So dou square ui by dou xj. So this now becomes, this is known as the Navier-Stokes equation. Navier-Stokes equation. Now this equation is quite famous, and it's in fact more famous than the Reynolds momentum equation from which it was derived. So everybody says basically that CFD starts from Navier-Stokes equation. You can also say that you can say that the basic equation of computational fluid dynamics is Navier-Stokes equation. That is fine, but it came from Reynolds momentum equation. So that is its history. So this is the equation, Navier-Stokes equation, with which we will be dealing with. Okay, now as I said, let us go into the mathematics of turbulence, basics of turbulence. Okay. So basically, I told you, when you have a turbulent flow, when you measure something at some point, we are going to measure, let us say, only velocity. When you measure the velocity at a point, you get an instantaneous value. Okay. And that is in this book designated as UI tilde. This is the value that you measure. Now, what we can do is, what was done in doing this is something done by Reynolds. It is known as Reynolds decomposition. Reynolds decomposition is known as Reynolds decomposition. So this is given by UI is equal to, this instantaneous value is equal to a mean value plus a fluctuating value. So for this book, actually you will see, when I have mentioned two books in this course. The second book, when you go to, basically what I suggest is you follow the notes. As I said, if you can record the video, that will be the best thing. Record the lecture, I mean, that'll be the best thing. And then you listen to that and just read books along with that. So UI tilde is equal to UI plus UI, where this is a mean over a long period of time. It is known as a mean, and this component is known as a purely fluctuating component. It is a purely fluctuating component. Okay. Now, how do you get the mean component? The mean component is got by UI is equal to limit t tending to infinity 1 by t integral 0 to t UI dt. Actually, it looks like a big integral, but it's just a very simple thing. You are saying it is u into t divided by total t, or I'll write this as sigma u into t divided by total t. That is what it is. Sigma is the integral of ui into dt divided by t. This gives you the average velocity. This average velocity is what we call as the mean velocity. This is known as the mean velocity of turbulence. This is the mean velocity of turbulence. And this is following the composition. There is no other way. Of course, there is a, other than this, the only way is spectral decomposition of turbulence, which is not in this course. Basically, so what you will be coming across will be this Reynolds decomposition. Okay. And that this is what is meant by Reynolds decomposition. This decomposition of the main field into mean and fluctuating is known as Reynolds decomposition. Okay. So this is UI, and this is, and then we can see that this is usually written like this. So you take any quantity and you put a line over it that indicates a time average. So this is a time average. This is basically, first of all, a time average. Okay. So this is a time average. So UI you take and you put a line over it. This is known as a UI, the mean, time mean of UI tilde. This one is this is UI. Now, so we can see, well, let's see this one. So basically this mean of this this is mean of the total quantity, instantaneous quantity. So let us use these terms as it is given here. Let's not confuse between them. This is the instantaneous term. This is the mean term. And this is the fluctuating component. Okay. Fluctuating term. So what we have, UI is equal to tilde this thing, UI. Now let us see what is the mean of a fluctuating thing like this. What is this? That is what we are trying to see. This is equal to, let's just substitute in that expression, limit as t tending to infinity, 1 by t integral 0 to t Now ui is ui plus ui minus ui into dt. You understand how this came? I am finding out the fluctuating is equal to from here fluctuating. This is the fluctuating component. Fluctuating is equal to the total minus mean. So the fluctuating is equal to this is the total minus the mean. This is the mean. So this will be equal to limit as t tends to infinity 1 by t integral. This will be ui dt plus, I'm going to put this in one huge bracket. 1 by t is outside, integral 0 to t ui dt minus ui dt. Now what is 1 by t ui dt? You can see one thing, these two things will cancel each other out. Okay, one thing, what have I done? 1 minute. All things ui minus ui dt ui plus ui minus ui dt. Okay, the limit of ui dt plus ui dt. Something has gone. Let me start this from the beginning. I got confused here. Sorry, let me do this again. Something I messed up. So let us see. Okay, ui ui oh, okay, ui equals ui tilde is equal to ui plus ui. Okay, this is the total. Now ui is equal to limit as t tending to infinity 1 by t integral 0 to t ui dt. This is ui. Now what we want to find out is ui bar, it is equal to integral.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, what is this
What
UI
is
bar?
this one? Yeah,
Yes,
good question. See, this ui is the fluctuating quantity. Okay,
but
this
sir,
यूं
above
wait,
your
मतलब एग्जांपल आवे ला लोग ना तो समझ जाए को थोड़ी बहुत
अबे यार मोबाइल साला मन को चपटा पे फोड़ फाड़ दे चलो चलो
you understand what this is? ui is equal to ui plus this is mean plus this is fluctuating ui. Okay, and
yes
this is the fluctuating, and your question is what is this? This is the mean of the fluctuating. If I take a sample, okay, of data from here to here, if I take a sample, if I take a mean, if I take a mean of the instantaneous value, the total value, if I take a mean of the total value, we get the mean. That is this ui. And other than that, whatever is remaining is the fluctuating. Now, what will happen if I take a mean of the fluctuating? Means whatever is fluctuating other than the mean, what will be the mean of the fluctuating? What will be the average of the fluctuating? That is the better way to put it. What is the average of the fluctuating quantities of a sample? So that will be this minus integral minus ui dt, minus ui itself. Ui is equal to this minus ui Now, what will be this? This will be integral. This will be equal. This is equal to ui itself. This is equal to ui itself, right? ui. So this is equal to ui minus ui, which is equal to 0. This one, okay. This, how did you get this? First of all, you got this by the fluctuating mean. You can get it like this. The fluctuating mean is equal to the instantaneous mean minus the mean. Actually, mean of a mean is 0, is mean itself. So the mean, I hope it's clear. It's sometimes confusing. Mean of the mean. See, you have a big sample. You take a mean. Then you take a mean of that mean again. You will get the same thing. Okay, it doesn't change. You take a mean again, it will still be the same. It is the same thing. Yeah.
Mean is a number, and how can you
Yes.
take a mean of a single number?
That's what I'm saying. Mean of a mean is mean itself. That if you take for, I'll tell you. Let's take 1, 2, 3, 4. So of these, you have the mean as some value. Now, if you want to take the mean of the mean, which means, let's say the mean is, what is this mean? 2.5. Okay. If I want to take the mean of the mean, it will be 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 divided by 4. This is the mean of the mean. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So mean of the mean is always the mean. It will be 2.5 itself. And if you take mean of that mean is also the same thing. So mean of a mean is the same as mean. So what we get here is this. What is this? This one is actually the mean itself, ui. This one minus ui. This one. That is the fluctuate that comes from here is equal to 0. Okay. So what has really happened is, I'll tell you, what they did actually was that they did a series of mathematics in which we can say that they made it such that the mean of the fluctuating is 0. Okay. The mathematics of this whole thing is put in such a way that mean of the fluctuating is 0. And when you do that, you get a one type of mean. That is what is defined as the mean of the turbulent quantity. The mean of the fluctuating will be 0. Mean of the mean is mean itself. I hope that is clear. That is what it is. Okay. So mean of the fluctuating is 0. That comes again many times. Like if you have any quantity, this will be 0. Whatever it is. If t is the fluctuating, this is 0. Mean of that fluctuating is always 0. So like this, it comes to the same, and then you get the you get all this. Is this clear, or should I do this again? I can do this again if you want.
Vi is a velocity in y direction.
Yeah, yeah. Velocity is the Vi is the velocity in y direction. I mean, these are all notations. If you can write it like this if you want. This is V, right? I wrote it as Vi. It's in many ways, or it can be another thing also. Ui can represent the velocity at one point, okay, one location. Vi can represent the velocity at another location. These are all according to our convenience, what we put there. Usually you can put it as uj is equal to 0 also. That is also same thing. Mean, all I want to tell you is mean of a fluctuating quantity is 0. And mean of a mean is the mean itself. There is no, it basically says it's like this thing. You take an average, then you average it as many times as you want. It makes no difference. It still gives you the same average. Okay, you average this further. What is the difference? You'll, with this number, with this points, you average it again, you will get the same thing. So averaging like this, any number of times you do, it gives you the same ui mean. And for a fluctuating, if you do that, you get 0. This is the take home message from this. Okay, then there are a couple of things that come up here. Suppose you have something like this. Suppose you have something like this. Whatever it is, dou x I, dou xj, let's say, like this. Okay, this is equal to this. Okay, which means that the differential of a, the mean of a differential. This is the mean. This is the mean of a differential. This is the differential. So mean of a differential is equal to the differential of the mean. So mean of the differential. I hope it's clear what I am saying here. Mean of the differential is the differential of the mean. Means this can be written like this. There is no difference. Is the differential of the mean. Differential of the mean. Okay, so what then you basically have these. So according to this book, Tenekes and Lumley, they say that anything with tilde is the instantaneous value. Okay, instantaneous value. Anything which is written in capital letters like this is the mean value, and anything that is in small letters is the fluctuating value. But the notation is not at all the universal. It varies from book to book, from researcher to researcher, etc. It will be different. They use different notations. So when you read a paper, you have to see what it stands for. Is it an instantaneous value, or if there is an instantaneous value, then it has a mean. Okay, there is a mean for that instantaneous value. Whereas if it is a fluctuating value, it doesn't have a mean. Mean of a fluctuating quantity is 0. Then basically you do this for everything. For pressure, so in a turbulent flow field, you will have the velocity like this, ui, and you can have like this, instantaneous velocity field. Basically the velocity field is changing continuously. So instantaneous velocity field, now this P is equal to, we write it like this. And what else is there? This sigma also can be written like this. Sigma ij plus sigma ij. So everything is mean plus fluctuating, like this. Then again here, the mean of the fluctuating will be 0. The mean of sigma ij will be 0. So be careful which one is 0 and which is not. And similarly, we write like this: Sij, capital S, okay, is equal to half dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi, and S small ij is equal to half dou small u by dou xj plus dou small uj by dou xi. So like this it comes. Okay, then like UIP. Okay. Then there are a couple of, what comes next, obviously a lot of exercises on doing this, so that you get an idea of what I'm really saying here. Okay, let us see. Let us suppose you have something like this. Suppose I am taking a mean of a product of two fluctuating quantities, two instantaneous quantities. So these are two instantaneous quantities, ui bar, uj bar, two instantaneous quantities. The mean of that fluctuation, this will be equal to. So what we always do in all these problems, first change this instantaneous value into mean plus fluctuating. So this will become ui plus ui into uj plus uj into mean. This is equal to mean. Now this is another thing. See, if you have a product, just like you do the other algebra, here also you can do it the same manner like this. ui uj plus ui uj plus ui uj plus ui uj. I hope it's clear. So there is a ui uj plus ui uj plus ui small uj plus ui uj. I just multiplied the product, just like what is it called, the associative property, right, or distributive property. So it becomes ui uj, this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this. So this whole thing comes like this, and this is equal to. Now comes the sorting out part. Now, first of all, another thing you can do, you are allowed to do is, this is a mean over a whole sum. Okay, the mean of a sum is equal to sum of the means. Mean of a sum is the sum of the means. Okay, so this becomes this thing ui uj plus this thing ui uj plus mean ui uj plus fluctuating ui uj. Okay, so this is basically what this reduces to. Now you should know that ui and uj are two constant quantities. Okay, they are two means. There is no varying quantity. So mean of a mean or mean of a product of a mean is also equal to a mean. So this is just ui uj. Okay, this one becomes this. Can you tell me what this is? What will be this? Actually, see, this uj is a mean. Okay, mean, look at it this way. A mean means a constant. You have a random set of variables of which there are instantaneous values, and the mean is not a randomly varying quantity. It is a constant for that value. So the mean is a constant which can be taken outside, and I take it outside. This becomes, this is also similar to that, bar plus ui uj bar, two fluctuating quantities. Now this is ui uj only. There is nothing you can do to this. There is no more there is no more shortening or no more reduction to these terms. Plus, what is this? No response. So this, actually you will see that this is equal to 0. We have already said it is the mean of a fluctuating quantity. Okay, this is equal to 0. So this ui uj plus uj into 0 plus ui into 0 plus ui uj. Now this
Sir.
one,
Sir, on first line, it was multiply small ui into capital uj whole mean.
This one.
No, sir, the below one.
This one.
Sir, then how? Yes, sir. Sir, then
Yes.
how you get this line?
From here, how you get
this?
From this to this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So yeah, from here to here, the thing is this uj, okay, this ui, first of all, is a series of terms. Uj is a mean. A mean is a constant. It does not vary. It does not fluctuate. So this uj, I took it outside the mean. This summation doesn't make any difference to mean. I told you already. however many times you do this, this is equal to ui. So this fellow, I take it outside the mean notation. So this uj is taken outside the mean notation. Then there is only inside, there is only ui. This ui mean. So it becomes mean of the ui. The mean comes outside. The mean uj came outside and this goes inside. So it becomes just this. This term is again the mean of a fluctuating, which is 0. Now tell me, what is your doubt? Is it okay?
Sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. And therefore this becomes 0. Similarly for this ui, uj bar and plus ui. Now this thing, the ui uj prime bar, this is something that you cannot do anything further really. This is also fluctuating, this is also fluctuating, and both of them are not constants. None of them can be taken outside. Both of them are changing. So both of them are changing and the product will also change. So this is inside, both will remain inside, and this is as such. There is nothing further we can do to this. Similarly, this is one term, this is another term, and these two are 0. So this expression is equal to this expression. This is what I've been trying to derive. Now, as you can expect, okay, there are a couple of things more we can do with this. Now, okay, now this ui uj bar, this is uj, this thing, okay, this term is something that I'm sure none of you have ever encountered unless you have done something in turbulence. Mostly it comes or in any other stochastic models you have studied. Otherwise, it would be a new thing to you. So ui uj bar, this thing is known as a correlation. Okay, and if it means what is the correlation between, what is the correlation? The term itself, it means what is the correlation between ui and uj, where ui is the x component of velocity and uj is the y component of velocity. What is the correlation between these two? So this is this meant by correlation. And if ui uj is equal to 1, it is known as, I think it's known as fully correlated. Let me see, 1 minute. I think it's called, it's not given here, but it's known as fully correlated or something. Not then if ui uj is equal to 0, it is known as uncorrelated. It is known as so these two terms are not correlated. Otherwise, it's correlated, fully correlated, fully correlation. There is actually a term for that. I can't remember it right now. And that is what it is. And then we come to some term. Let us take this term. I'll just write it. I think you will follow it. There's no need to read it out. We know that this is equal to 0, right? This is the continuity equation. If you take the total velocity field, instantaneous velocity field, as I told you, if you take an instantaneous velocity field and dou by dou xi of that instantaneous velocity field is 0 because of continuity equation. For that, this I and this I should be same. Okay, means both of them should be I. If it is dou ui by dou xj, it doesn't hold. So dou ui by dou xi is equal to 0. Okay, so this follows. Now take now as they say, take a mean on both sides.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, how this equation becomes equal to 0?
that is what we studied. No, we have been saying this. There is, in case of a so what you have in case of a laminar flow. First of all, let us consider laminar flow. In case of a laminar flow, there is an equation which states that okay, this is known
Yes.
as a continuity equation. Now this can also be written as dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2 this is written as, I told you, when an I is repeated, it needs to be summed up. So this is the same as this. So this is equal to 0. That is what this is. Now, when you become a turbulent flow, when you are translating this, this is for a laminar flow. There is no mean and fluctuating. In a laminar flow, there is no mean and fluctuating. Okay, this mean and fluctuating comes for turbulent flow. So even if the turbulent flow is even if the turbulent flow is turbulent, even though it is turbulent, it will satisfy the mass conservation. Whatever mass is there that is going out per unit time or coming in per unit time will be conserved. That even turbulence cannot change. Mass is conserved or the volume is conserved because we are talking about incompressible flows. So we are talking about turbulence of incompressible flows. When you are interested in studying aerospace and the flow over airplanes, you will have to study compressible turbulent flows. That is much more difficult. This is much easier. This is known as these are for incompressible turbulent flows. So when you have incompressible turbulent flows, dou ui by dou xi becomes dou ui tilde divided by dou xi is equal to 0. And this I replace as this one. It becomes this is equal to 0. So dou right. What I did is I took a mean of both sides. So I just took a mean like this. I said this mean is equal to 0. Now, if I take a mean of this, I told you differential of, the mean of a differential is equal to the differential of a mean. So dou ui by dou xi plus dou ui, it's tilde divided by dou xi equal to 0. Now, what is dou ui by dou xi? This is dou ui by dou xi itself. Mean of a mean is mean itself plus this is the mean of a fluctuating. Okay, this is the mean of a fluctuating. Therefore, this term is 0. This term is 0. So plus 0 equal to 0. So what you see is that dou ui by dou xi equal to 0. Now, if I just from this I subtract this, you will see that dou ui by dou xi is also 0. So what this means is that the the mean part of the flow also satisfies continuity by itself, and the turbulent part of the flow satisfies continuity by itself, and the total flow also satisfies continuity totally. So totally it satisfies continuity, mass conservation. The laminar flow, the mean part of the flow, which is basically the mean of the flow, also satisfies mass conservation, and the turbulent part also satisfies mass conservation. So once you have that, it is because of the way in which we have defined the quantities. So when you have that, you have dou ui by dou. So basically you will get dou ui by dou xi is equal to 0. This you have to remember. Okay, it's at least remember that dou ui by dou xi is 0 always. Whether it is laminar flow or turbulent flow, dou ui by dou xi is 0 because I is a summation. I is a dummy index there. So it is equal to dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2 plus dou u3 by dou x3 equal to 0. Okay. Now there is similarly one more thing we can do here. Now the Navier-Stokes, if you remember, it will come to this. We'll do it detail, but I'm just showing you one thing that comes up. That's all. Let me put it this way. Suppose actually Navier-Stokes, when you do it, that these are some small tricks which we can use. Now this one is equal to this one. Obviously, by looking at this, we cannot say anything. Now this one can also be written as is this okay? Or is it something you don't understand? There is nothing in it that you don't understand. It is just differentiation by parts. So you have uj dou ui by dou xj is equal to dou by dou xj of ui uj, because this one is equal to this one plus this one. Ui dou uj by dou xj plus uj dou ui by dou xj. That is this summation. This product can be done like that. You know that. So this can be written in this fashion. And what is this? Do you know what this is? No, no response. But I'll tell you it is 0 because dou uj by dou xj is 0. Because of the same thing, dou ui by dou xi is equal to 0. Just like that, dou uj by dou xj is also equal to 0 because it is also equal to dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2 plus dou u3 by dou x3, and it is equal to 0. So once you have that, so this can be written as.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in conservation of mass, we had like dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2 plus dou u3 by dou x3 is equal to 0. So, sir, now how individual term becomes equal to 0?
Where is individual terms becoming 0?
Uj by xj.
Dou uj by dou xj is not an individual term, is it? It's not an individual term. No, that's what I was telling. That is, it is known as Einstein summation rule, which says that if any term, any any index rather repeats itself twice as in a product or a quotient. For example, you take this one. This, when you have a term like this, in the tensor notation, it means that in the tensorial notation, dou ui by dou xi is not one term. Dou ui by dou xi is dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2 plus dou u3 by dou x. But your questions are very good. This is basically a very confusing thing. But remember one thing, both these things have to be same. If you have ui by uj, then it's no longer a summation. Only dou ui by dou xi is a summation. So dou u1 by dou x1, if it is same, that is what happened here. It's same j. So when you have this, it is this is actually, this expression is like this. I'll write this. Now this is 0, right? So this is what is come up there. So this is basically just equal to this quantity dou by dou xj of ui uj. I would really like to give you a tutorial or something to work this out, but let me see. Maybe next week I'll try to put a. There are some this you need to work out. Otherwise, it's not. It's very confusing. Okay. Then, so let me see. a little bit of before we go into this. So this is, I think this is known as, these are the basic things about correlations. Now basically next is some exercises probably we have to work out. Before that we'll do one thing and then we'll see. Let's do this one. Don't worry, as I told you before, this turbulence is very vague. Actually, it's not very amenable to direct understanding. It cannot understand very easily. It takes years of experience to get some idea about it. But anyway, the rest of it will be very easy. And this is not something that you, unless you do a PhD in turbulence, are going to be bound by. You are going to be confronted by, or rather you'll have to do it. You won't be facing these things, but you need to know what are the turbulence models available, what is turbulence modeling, and what are the models. And before you know what is turbulence modeling, you have to know a little bit of turbulence. That is what this is a general understanding of turbulence. Okay, then probably something you will never pick up any time later in your life. Probably you'll never use it, but still. So this one we start with this Reynolds averaged equations again. Okay, so basically we come to these are another similar thing which we'll come to this. We are going to do this. So we are talking about Reynolds averaged equations. Okay, let us start from the basic things. One is this one. Okay, so basically from now on, we'll write the continuity equation only like this. Actually, I will write it a little further, go a little further and tell you how in tensors it is written. It is written like this. Oh, this is also removed. Just to confuse you, I put that. It is usually written like this. Okay, when you see a comma like this after a tensor in a term, in a whole term, if you see a comma after that, it means a differential. Okay, so this actually is dou ui, and you have to know what this is. So it must be dou xi. Similarly, you can write like this. This represents this. It just makes it for simpler printing and easier, easier to type it in papers. You have a long equation, so it's so much easier to see this like this. Instead of writing this itself is big, and then writing it as dou u1 by dou x1 plus dou u2 by dou x2, that is even bigger. Or changing it and writing it as dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou x, it's even more complicated. So reducing it simpler, and finally this is how you write this. So this is the continuity equation. Continuity equation is that. This is the continuity equation. Okay, so once you have that is a continuity equation. We go into the next one, the momentum equation. You know this equation. You should know this equation. It's a little difficult probably to remember, but it's worth remembering it. It's usually written as, before I write it like this, let me write the way they have written. This is the same tau ij in the previous expression. I'll keep writing, then we'll explain. This is the same thing which I did last time. Okay. The only thing is that last time there they used it as minus p delta ij plus that, but instead here they have just put p already they have put in the equation. Much more. The other one is even more complicated. This one is a little more easier. So Ti is just a shear stress is given by 2 mu Sij. This is part of the expression you have. You have heard of the Newtonian fluids, right? Where you say that the stress is proportional to strain in a fluid, okay, and the constant of proportionality is the dynamic viscosity. This is basically the same expression. We'll come to that. Now we come to another thing also I have to explain to you. Now see, till
Sir.
now,
Sir, what is the first term of this equation? Rho into
dou ui
del.
by dou t, rho dou ui by dou t.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. Now we have gone into the second book, which is I told you I'm using two books. In this book, I'm not confusing it, but you just bear with me in this. In this book, these terms ui represent the instantaneous values. So I'll tell you what it is when I write it. So don't get confused. This represents instantaneous values and the fluctuating quantities are represented like this. In fact, this is a more general form, or rather, I would say that previously, earlier literature, you will see everything. So I'll write what it is. So this is the earlier notation. This is the earlier notation, and this is the current notation. This is the current notation. So again, I don't get desperate if you think you're not following. It is okay. This part is like this. After that, the rest of it will be okay. It will be much better. This actually the next part also slightly. This turbulence details of turbulence modeling is a bit confusing. It basically you have to have do a PhD in that to really follow the whole thing. So, but it's okay. You can. So this is the earlier book used this notation, and the current book is using this notation. So I'm going to follow for the derivation from now on. This is the notation. Okay. So this represents the instantaneous quantity. Okay, and these are all represents the instantaneous quantity. Now let us write. Let us go ahead. Now that is explained. So we are going into the Reynolds average equations only. So this is basically it's coming to the Navier-Stokes equation. So let us see what happens to the Navier-Stokes equation when the flow is turbulent. That is what we are trying to do. We have a Navier-Stokes equation. I want to see what will be the Navier-Stokes equation if there is a turbulent quantity in the flow, means if the flow is turbulent. So you have, so I'll write the equation again. And these things you just have to know. I don't know what else I can say. You have to know this. Now, if you substitute this here, I mean Sij, I put 2 mu. So 2 mu will be this into 2 mu. Okay, that will be Tij. So this half and this 2 will go. So mu into this. If I put it there, one of those terms will be 0. I told you already. It will become, this equation will become there is a minus here. Like this, it will come. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mean of this whole equation. Okay, and you know that I can do mean part by part. I can do mean of this, mean of this, mean of this, mean of this. So this will become
Sir,
yes.
T
Yes.
is here time. Yes.
This T is time.
Sir, so Tij, what is that meaning?
Which one? This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. You missed that. This is Tij. This T is not time. Tij is stress. Shear stress.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that is a good question. It is not related to time. This is Tij is 2 mu ij, 2 mu Sij. So this is shear stress, not at all related to time. Okay, there is no relation at all. So dou P by this thing plus dou by dou Xj of 2 mu. Basically, it can be reduced into the, will come like this. Okay, then of 2 mu Sij. Okay, so this will become, I'm going to explain it further. So from here I'm jumping up. Okay, means from after this, the next step is coming here. What is this? This is so what is this? This is and look back. This is equal to rho ui plus. Actually, I should make you do this one plus which is P I'll now explain it. What each term is. I think it should be okay. Okay. Now this is the total quantity. Total quantity, mean of the total quantity is mean. So I have written it here, rho dou ui by dou t. This is the mean quantity. Then this one you keep it here for the time being. We'll come back to that at the end. This one is minus dou p by dou xi. So P is the flux, is the total quantity, is the instantaneous value. It has a mean is total pressure. So this is the mean pressure in pressure is written as capital P. I've just written it as capital P, that's all. So dou P by dou Xi, no change to anything else. Then this term, dou by dou Xj of 2 mu, this is Sij is instantaneous term again. This 2 mu is a constant. So 2 mu can be taken outside or put inside. It makes no difference. It's just a constant. So it remains inside this term and it becomes the mean of Sij. Mean of a instantaneous quantity is Sij. The mean is always capital letter. If you want, I'll tell you what it is. It is basically this left hand side is basically this one. And the right hand side. And so if I need to take a mean, what does this become? This is basically plus this term. Now mean of this is mean of this plus mean of this. Mean of this is ui itself and mean of the fluctuating quantity is 0. So it just becomes, so this whole term becomes half dou by like this, dou by dou x j of ui. I'm pretty sure many people have left or are doing something else. So basically this becomes the equation. Okay, I'm going to stop. Just hold on. Just 5 more minutes. So this one is the long equation, and then this becomes the Navier-Stokes equation for a turbulent flow. So for a turbulent flow, this is the Navier-Stokes equation, and this becomes, actually I'm not going to, I'm wondering how to put the exam in this case, but let's see. Teaching, when I'm teaching in the class, I find it easier to answer the questions. Here you are all staying quiet, so I don't know. I think it's probably difficult to ask questions also in this small screen. You have to focus and ask questions is probably difficult. Let's see. So what we have is rho ui by dou. So this is so. Something is missing now. Dou by dou xj. I'm sure you understand what I'm doing. Nobody is asking any questions or pointing out any mistakes or anything, which is okay. Now, what is this? Just tell me this one. If I tell you this, I'll be very happy.
That is 0.
Yes, that is 0. Okay. Yes, you're right. This dou ui uj by dou xj is coming here. Okay. One jj xj is coming, as a result of which this term becomes 0. And nothing else is 0. So, okay. So this equation, and now this, what we can do is, what is usually done is you write it like this. Equation is slightly rewritten. I can rewrite it as this term plus this term, okay, is equal to this term I am taking to the right hand side. I'll take this term and put it here along with this. Okay, along with this. And when you do that, the equation becomes, there's nothing more. It's just a rewriting of the equation.
So 2 mu and minus rho are on one side.
Yeah, and this thing, this fellow I am taking to the right hand side. So I'll just see if you can just see here.
And the plus term is an
Dou by dou xi, dou by dou xj actually. This is j, I think.
Dou xj.
Dou xj. Dou xj.
Yes, sir.
This is dou xj. Dou by dou xj of, I think it becomes Sij minus Ui Uj bar, right? Or is there a row here?
This I minus rho mu ij mu j bar.
2 mu ij, sorry. I forgot that. There is a 2 mu here. Correct.
Yes, sir. 2 mu sj.
2 mu Sij, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, right.
Yeah, I think this is right. So dou p by dou xi plus dou by dou xi of 2 mu Sij minus this thing. Now, this equation is the main thing you have to remember, and this equation is known as a Rans equation. I'll remove this first part. This equation is important. Let us keep it there. This is known as a Rans equation. What does it mean? It means Reynolds averaged Navier-Stokes equation. Reynolds averaged Navier-Stokes equation. This is, so if you are attending an interview, let me say in CFD, and they want to go into the basics, the thing they will ask is this: what is Rans equation? What is Rans? Basically, they'll ask you, what is Rans? Rans is Reynolds average Navier-Stokes, and it is an equation like this, usually mostly written in this form. Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation. So this Rans is this equation. The only additional, it is the Navier-Stokes equation for turbulent flows. Rans equation is the Navier-Stokes equation for turbulent flows, and that has an additional term. There is only one additional term that comes up really, and that is this. So you have minus rho ui prime uj prime. There's a uj prime. Prime means basically fluctuating quantities. Okay, so this is a fluctuating quantity. This is a fluctuating quantity, whatever the notation is. So this is minus rho, this thing. This is known as a Reynolds stress. Reynolds stress. Reynolds stress is equal to minus rho ui prime uj prime bar. This is known as Reynolds stress, and you have to note this thing. There is a negative associated with it. So Reynolds stress is a negative associated with it, and if I take this rho out, it is known as a specific Reynolds stress. That is not really used. That word is not used. It's just for mention knowing purpose only. What you need to know is Reynolds stress. Reynolds stress is minus rho ui prime uj prime bar. This is also an important term. Sometimes this is the, and in fact, turbulence modeling means, so basically see, in this, everything else is mean. Mean we can get very easily. It's not very difficult to get the mean of any of these terms. You have transducers and all that to measure the mean quantity very easily. So mean is found very easily. And so the additional term that comes up is the fluctuating quantity. That is the only thing which needs to be addressed properly. So this is our unknown in turbulence. This is our unknown. This fellow is the villain. This is the one who produces the maximum trouble. So this one, we find out different ways of modeling this. This is known as turbulence modeling. Turbulence modeling is a way, you will see the word used very frequently. Turbulence modeling is a way used to calculate Reynolds stress in different methods. By different methods, the people have calculated Reynolds stresses. So that is known as turbulence modeling. And Reynolds stresses are important because they come in the Rans equation. And why is Rans equation important? Do you know what we solve from this equation really? We solve this ui, this. So if you are given a ship, okay, and you want to find out the flow field around the ship, basically that is what your question will be. Mainly the the company or the research entity who is doing this, the main purpose will be most likely to find a velocity around a ship or something. So the main goal of what we are trying to find is this thing, dou ui by dou t. This ui, to calculate this ui, is the purpose of our experiment, purpose of all our this modeling. And to do that, when we solve the equations, solving and all comes in the second part. When we solve those equations, we get an additional quantity called rho ui uj bar, which is known as Reynolds stress. This Reynolds stress produces a lot of problems and it has a very high value. So it's not negligible. It has a very high value. So this Reynolds stress is what we try to model using turbulence modeling. That is what we are going to do next. So I think I'll stop here today. We have covered some portions today. It's actually it is a kind of course where you really understand the subject, and then you don't have to by heart anything. How will you by heart all this? It's not possible to by heart. This is nothing. You are going to have bigger and bigger terms and equations and all kinds of things here. So you study it properly by reading it, understand what each term is, then don't by heart anything. Just read it. When you need it, you take the book and read it. You can follow it up very easily at that time. That is how people do this turbulence part. It's very lengthy. It's very long. All the equations you have, all long, very long equations and very long terms. You are huge. So basically, you see what happens is that here there is a ui uj term coming, and this produces something known as a closure problem. We'll come to that later. So this is all for today. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to close this. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow 2 o'clock. We'll discuss more there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for the time being, goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah.